What's going on, everybody? I'm Quest for Nostalgia. I'm a YouTube content creator and I stream variety games over on Twitch. I hate super long intros, so let's get into it. As always, I hate spoilers, so there's going to be zero story spoilers or anything like that in here. So you should be free to watch everything about this and not get anything ruined and get to experience the game yourself. So I'm a huge Psychonauts fan. Psychonauts was one of those games that I rented from the movie store again and again, and I actually just went through and replayed Psychonauts 1 again right before the release of Psychonauts 2. I also played Psychonauts Rhombus of Ruin, the VR game for the PlayStation VR, and that was a really fun thing, and it was cool to see that they used that storyline going into Psychonauts 2. Now, Psychonauts 2 had really big shoes to fill. Psychonauts 1 is a 3D platformer ahead of its time. It was this thing that you would think was a kid's game, but it had such darker and just more thoughtful lessons and tones to it. So things like, you have mental health as your health. Like, that's crazy. Something that came out so long ago, and a concept that is often talked about now. They did that back then. They had really clever collectibles that were called figments of your imagination. They had emotional baggage, and those things were your collectibles that you went through in each level. Stuff like that. Some of those concepts were just so, far above your head when you're a kid. You're enjoying them. They're fun to look at. They're very colorful. But now thinking about the inner workings of the brain and the psyche and stuff like that, it was really cool to go back and play it and those concepts be something a little bit more meaningful than, gems or, whatever loot that you're going to hoover up in a 3D platformer. So Psychonauts 2 really kept all of that. They stayed so true to the original, which was amazing. Seeing the same thing as getting your badges when you were in camp. The animations were the same, everything like that. They also stayed with those things of having emotional baggage and the figments of your imagination as collectibles. There were more items to buy with different currency in this game as opposed to the arrowhead, say in Psychonauts 1. But it was really fun to create different pins, and you could kind of make a loadout to have different abilities, whether it be your Psy Blast are stronger or changing the color of your orb and stuff like that. But overall, the mechanics and the platforming and everything like that felt so similar to the original, which was awesome. It was so seamless to go from one into the other. If anything, I actually think maybe things like, telekinesis and some of the abilities actually felt like they had better lock-on systems or better control in this game as they did in the old one. So this game has changed so much, though, even though it kept so much the same. I mean, it is gorgeous, and hopefully you expected that. This game is like Coraline meets a Pixar movie. It is so gorgeous to see this art style. I love it. It really checks all boxes for me, and I played it on the Xbox One X. I believe it would be so much better on the Series X. One of the problems that I have with this game playing on a little bit older hardware is that I had texture load-ins a little bit later and the load times were terrible. The load times took so long, but I bet on the actual Series X or maybe even the Series S that you would have a better playthrough or a better experience with that. It's funny, you can really tell that this game rode the coattails of, say, Ratchet and Clank for the PlayStation and things like that. It is, just like I said, a kind of Pixar movie, and it does these seamless cutscenes from gameplay into cutscene, back to gameplay into cutscene, and that was really fun to experience. I love where they're going with 3D platforms, where they're intertwining the story really into the level, as opposed to, you play a level, you get a cutscene, you play a level, you get a cutscene. Psychonauts 2 is so much heavier on the story, and here we don't do any bit of spoilers, so you're not going to get any story elements here, but it's an awesome story. It's really fun, and it was just much more of a deep dive into a story than, say, the first game. I mean, even to the point to where you have different dialogue options that you can choose when chatting with characters and things like that, almost like a Mass Effect, or something like that, which felt kind of crazy having that in a 3D platformer. They also had side quests in this, which was really crazy to have in a 3D platformer as well. You never think about there being extra missions and things like that that you can do in a game. It was like, no, there's extra things to do. You can go spend time with some other characters and things like that, and they'll send you on a quest. The map is like 1,000 times bigger than the original. I love the campground of the original. The area there is so much fun to do. The platforming is fun. Going for all the collectibles in that was great. And hopping around between the different mission areas. And they do a really good job of that. In the new one, it was 1,000 times bigger. It is stunning. Going through the woods and going kind of back a little bit close to the camp area and things like that was amazing to see. it feels like Monsters Inc. when you go into this, you know, Psychic Academy area where all the Psychonauts are. It feels so cool to be in there. It feels really lived in. There's so many NPCs walking around and dialogue options and things like that coming around, and you're hearing so much that it feels really cool. So I loved that aspect of it. Honestly, I think that they probably surpassed the original. I love the original to death, and so it's hard for me not to look at it through those nostalgia glasses, you know, and the first one was so great and so different than the others, and this one, you know, did feel like it kind of was riding the wave of Ratchet and Clank and stuff like that. But man, it's just so pretty. The story is good. It has great length to it. You can do a lot to it. But my biggest issue is there's no physical right now. And it's like, I really pray that there's going to be a physical. As you can see, I'm a physical game collector here. I like to have them. I want to have them. Please, I need them. You know, I may end up having to make my own case for it and just to have something on the shelf for it. But goodness, it does stink that there is no physical case right now. I hope this video entices you to go out and play it. I hope you give it a shot. If not, try to get the first one and give that a shot. I think it's like 99 cents on Steam. It sometimes goes free, you know, and they give it away, you know, different months and stuff like that. So try to get your hands on Psychonauts 1 and play that. It's a really good game if you can't get to Psychonauts 2, but Psychonauts 2 is fantastic. It's gorgeous. It fits in with all games now, and I think that they did a good job of capturing great things from the previous and staying true to that. Let me know in the comments below, have you played the Psychonauts game? Are you looking forward to trying this? As always, thanks so much for making it through the video. It means so much to me. Watch time really helps me get shared and recommended. So if you can do the YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe. I'm really trying to grow over here, and I'm trying to make great content for you guys. So I hope that you guys can see the quality that we're trying to put out. But if you're here, you guys are the backbone of this channel. You guys really help me out. So love you guys, and check out the other videos and give those a watch. Peace.